Hello, everyone, and welcome to part two of the PD Welcome Talk. Hopefully, you guys all got to view and complete watching part one. But I saved the fun stuff for last. It's all about our wellness program, our location, and kind of just all the fun stuff that makes our family our family. So let me just fast forward to that section of the presentation. So, why else this program? So, because you want to come to New York City. New York City is where it's at. New York City is the best city in the country for sure, if not the whole wide world. I love New York City. When I did not grow up in New York City, but I ended up discovering it in college, and I knew the second I put one foot on Manhattan soil that I would come here for residency. I only applied to New York programs and ended up matching here and have been here for the last 20 years. So New York City is just an amazing hodgepodge of cultures, people, you name it, we have it, whether it's Broadway or sports or finance or food. You name it, New York has it, and there is a neighborhood for you, in particular, all somewhere in New York. So New York City is where it's at. You want to come here. If you train in New York City, I tell people this all the time, you will be able to go anywhere and everywhere and handle anything that walks through your ER doors. Okay. I truly believe that everybody at one point in their life should live in New York City, even if it's for 6 months or a year, because once you can live here, you can live anywhere. So, where are we located? We're here in the heart of Queens in Flushing. Many of our residents, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse or my arrow, but this over here is Astoria and Long Island City. And a lot of our residents live here because it's closer to Manhattan, right? So it's a hop, skip, and a jump, a couple subway stops into Manhattan, and you've got all of Manhattan and the city at your fingertips. But also, a lot of our residents live, in nearby Flushing, or some live in Bayside. Some live even in Brooklyn. Some live out in Long Island and commute in. But everything is accessible, right? Everything is accessible. The subway system in New York City is quite comprehensive, and you can get anywhere and everywhere. Plus, we have a lot of residents drive. There is a parking system. We have additionally the Lyft credits, as mentioned in the prior presentation. So getting to and from work is very easy. Sometimes residents kind of start out in Flushing, but then by their second year or third year, they'll move a little bit further out. But we've never had any residents have really any transportation issues. We've even had residents as living as far away as Central Jersey and commuting in. So once again, everything is very accessible. And then there's just some amazing things nearby. This is Flushing Meadows Park, which has a couple of these structures from World's Fairs in the past. A great park to run, bike, do a number of other athletic or outdoor events. Our Christmas party is at a venue in this park as well, our annual Christmas party. We actually did an Escape the Room, a Survivor EM actually here in this park. Just overall a great space. And then there's also Kisena Park nearby as well, where you can do many of the same types of activities. Then there's downtown Flushing. Downtown Flushing is awesome. Okay, it is this collection of wonderful cuisines. Let's talk about the food first, because the food in downtown Flushing is just amazing. So, you'll have Korean barbecue, for example, great bibimbap and bulgogi, and just great Korean barbecue and Korean food. And then next door, you'll have amazing hot pot Chinese food, dim sum. And then next door over, you'll have Indian food and great chicken tikka masala and dosas and South Indian. And you name it, it's there. And then, of course, you have all your standard stuff as well. Like you'll have all of that plus Starbucks, all of that plus Burger King. So it's just this. And then the karaoke, forget about the karaoke, forget about the food. Then the karaoke is also just as amazing. So it really is this just amazing collection of cultures and cuisines. You can't go wrong with downtown Flushing. So now let's talk more about wellness. So wellness is 100% a priority amongst our residents and amongst our faculty here at NYPQ. Wellness is always at the forefront of our mind. I like to think that, even though I was in residency approximately 17 to 20 years ago, okay, I was a resident from 2004 to 2007. I still remember it like it was yesterday, okay? And I remember how tough it can be. It can be the best years of your life, but also some of the most difficult years of your life in terms of your schedule and just the intensity of what residency and training can be. And I truly believe that if you are not well outside of work, you will not be well inside of work. So, what do we do to optimize our well being and our wellness here at NYPQ? So, I'm going to go back to first that family unity. That concept here, I cannot ingrain that into enough. We are a smaller residency at the end of the day, right? We are 27 to 30 residents. Many of these other New York programs are much bigger than that. Some of these New York conglomerates are 80 plus, 100 plus, even in some cases, some residents. I, as the PD here, I love the fact that I am a PD of a residency that is only, 30 residents or so. It makes for that much more intimate feel. My residents are able to pick up the phone and text me. Sometimes they text me at 2 a.m. and I'm available. And that's just how close of a family we are here at NYPQ, where, you're not lost in a sea of 100 plus some residents, where everybody truly knows your name. We have a great mentorship program here. Our mentorship is kind of three-tiered here. So number one is your general mentor, who you pick after being here for 2 to 3 months. You get to know everybody. Then you pick somebody who's your general mentor. That person is going to be with you for 3 years that you can reach out to for all types of advice. And you work with that mentor all throughout kind of your training. Your mentorship relationship can be whatever it is that you create with your mentor. Sometimes it's just phone calls periodically. Sometimes it's going out to eat with them, where you discuss various topics. But there is definitely a structured mentorship in that regard, right? Your general mentor. Then you have your tracks, right? We talked about tracks in the last PowerPoint. Let's say you're part of the ultrasound track, you'll have your ultrasound track mentors that will help you in your track and maybe hopefully help you get the experience that you need, or the things on your CV that you'll need to apply for fellowship later. If you are a global health track, then you have your global track mentor, et cetera, et cetera. And then ultimately in your senior year, you're paired with somebody in admin, either the chairman, me, associate chair, medical director, et cetera. And these are all people that know people, a lot of people in the community that can help you find a job or find a fellowship. So that happens essentially in your third year. So between your general mentor that you pick, your track mentor, and your career mentor, your career and job mentor, there is a three-layered or three-tiered system here of mentorship. And then on top of that, all of our attendings here are amazing. They tend to be a younger group. Many of them are fresh out of residency or within 5 years of their training. Most of them are within at least 10 years of training. There are very few people that have been out of residency for more than 10 years. So all of the attendings are practicing cutting edge, modern, up-to-date emergency medicine, doing plenty of ultrasounds, doing nerve blocks, doing all the fun and innovative stuff that we see in emergency medicine. And we are not kind of stuck in our old-fashioned ways or archaic emergency medicine that has been outdated. So plenty of mentors to go around. You also have a buddy system here where you pick your own buddy. That's just an extra person that we know is there for you when the times are tough or you need just an additional hug here and there. There is an official buddy system as well. Now, let's talk about Wednesday Wellness. So Wednesday Wellness is everything. Not very many residencies can boast this, but not only are our Wednesday mornings protected for great teaching in the morning, our Wednesday afternoons and evenings are protected for wellness. So what does that mean? right? Everybody goes to conference in the morning except for whoever's on MICU and SICU. So that's two residents there. Obviously, if you're away on vacation or if you are at Brookdale for trauma. And then there's two residents, two, sometimes three residents who are overnight who don't come to conference. But other than that, out of your 27 to 30 residents, generally 22 to 24 residents are at conference. And so Wednesday morning is protected for you, and then nobody goes back to work because the same person that worked on Tuesday night also works on Wednesday night. So the ED is staffed by PAs and it's staffed by two residents that work overnight. The rest of the people have completely Wednesday off. So if you go to conference in the morning, your Wednesday morning is protected, and so is your afternoon. And that just paves the afternoon for multiple opportunities for you to engage in wellness events. And these are just some. I mean, these are just a very, very brief list of the things that we have done. We do anything from athletic things to from like softball, soccer, to rock climbing, axe throwing, billiards, mini golf, etc., to artistic stuff like things at the Lincoln Center or Broadway or off Broadway or shows or movie nights, to seasonal things like pumpkin carving, jack-o'-lantern blazes, tacky lights tour. We recently went to Six Flags where we did a Fright Fest. So we definitely do seasonal things as the seasons go on. We also, it's Flushing. There are plenty of opportunities to do karaoke. Karaoke is very big here. So plenty of wellness events, and most of them are either planned by the residency leadership or they are planned by the chief residents. But there's pretty much something happening every single Wednesday. So a plethora of Wednesday wellness events, and it's why our residents are so close. One of the reasons our residents are so close is because they get to hang out with each other every single Wednesday. Now let's talk about wellness lecture series. So I mentioned in this prior PowerPoint, Dr. Anika Niklani, who is our Simulation Fellowship Director, she's also our wellness champion. So she plans multiple events throughout the ED that are residency sanctioned. She plans wellness events also for our faculty. She plans team building activities at our retreat, et cetera, et cetera. But in addition to that, every 6 weeks, she gives a lecture and conference. And I know what you might be thinking, how do you really teach wellness in a lecture? But you can. I mean, you can talk at least about the topics, right? So she does a lecture series, for example, financial health and how to manage your money, sleep and circadian rhythm, fatigue management, time management. So there's a lecture on depression, anxiety, and physician suicide. There is a lecture on substance abuse in medicine. There is a lecture on, let's say, financial advising. So multiple things, multiple lectures in this wellness lecture series that is a lecture, but at the same time can be very interactive and really opens up the floor for discussion. And then on top of that, some of these wellness events on Wednesdays are actually well vents, where it is an open forum to talk about something that's going on maybe in the ED, consultant etiquette, or maybe issues that you have had with consultants, or on this rotation or that rotation. It's a great time for the residents to all get together and without any judgment talk about the issues at hand. And that can sometimes be coupled with Journal Club, where we actually talk about a journal article. The schedule, as I mentioned before, is very fair. There's this master Google document where we track everything, how many ED South shift or fast track shifts you've had, how many peds, how many weekends you've had off, how many trauma shifts you've done, ped shifts, et cetera, et cetera. That way, it's completely fair. Everybody knows exactly what their numbers are, and nobody can say, hey, I haven't had this many days off or that many days off, because it's super duper duper fair. Everything is tracked. And as I mentioned, we really optimize your circadian rhythms by blocking nights together, etc. And you always get 2 days off every EM block. I cannot remember the last time when somebody has not gotten a day off that they have requested. And this just really allows you for flexibility for life events like weddings, graduation parties, etc. Um, if ever you need access to mental health resources, it is available to you through NYP, through COPE NYP, and we will even give you protected time. If you come to us and say, hey, I need Wednesday evenings or I need this time for mental health, that will be, we will accommodate that as well. And lastly, your voice is heard, right? So we mentioned in the last PowerPoint how many ways we listen to our residents, right? Through anonymous surveys, through the ACGME surveys, through the wellness retreats, through the residency review and the retreats, your voice is heard. We're constantly listening to our residents, and we're constantly changing curriculum, rotation, didactics based on resident feedback. Your voice is heard. So just some fun slides. We do this annual, picnic in Gantry Park, which is the park right kind of on the edge of Long Island City, overlooking. This is the big Pepsi, the famous Pepsi sign is there, overlooking Manhattan. Great view. Also, sometimes at Annabelle Basin, but we have this essentially every single year is one of our very, very fun events at the very beginning of the year. We also have faculty wellness, right? Faculty are people too. So these are just some great pictures of the faculty going to Broadway, the faculty at the PD pool party, and just some wellness events in general. These are, so I just note that just like you guys need your wellness, our faculty are constantly hanging out as well and maintaining our wellness. Let's see, next, event medicine. So if this is your thing, there are plenty of opportunities for you to do it. We have run tents at marathons. We have been the doctors at sporting events. We have been the doctors and physicians at charge at electronic music concerts and music festivals in general. Victor Huang, who now works at Northwell, but still, nonetheless, was a part of our family for many, many years, currently at Northwell, but still invites us to participate in any sports medicine. He's sports medicine fellowship trained. He still does a number of events, and we go very, very frequently. I would say there is, ample opportunity all year long for you to engage in event medicine if your heart so desires. We have a very strong Feminem group here as well. I've actually never been to one, I will say, but and men are, you don't have to necessarily be one of the girls to attend. It is basically anybody who is in support of women in emergency medicine. They have, I would say, probably a meeting once every quarter, so once every 3 to 4 months. And it's generally a lot of fun. This is them at SAM one year. This is just some various events that they have had. But again, we have a very strong Feminem group here that frequently meets and talks about issues that centered around women in emergency medicine. So I mentioned before sponsored wellness. There's just all throughout the year, there is something going on, okay? That is residency sanctioned or residency sponsored. So let's just start at the beginning of the year. There's, New York ASEP. We're all up there with the interns, plus chief residents, plus anybody else who is presenting. It's always a great turnout. And we have multiple dinners, multiple activities. We start there, right? Then there's always, I throw a big pool party at my house with a barbecue to welcome all the interns. Always a great time. I mentioned our annual Gantry Park picnic. Then we take all of our PGY3s to ASEP. There's sponsored wellness there. Then starting in November through January, every Wednesday is some type of interview social, whether it's virtual or in person. Those are a lot of fun. We have our Thanksgiving potluck. We have our annual Christmas party in December. Then there is a ski trip in one Wednesday in January. That is residency sponsored as well. Everybody is studying hardcore for the ITE, pretty much, October through February. Realistically, it's really more like January and February. And then as soon as the ITE is over, not only do you get the night off before to sleep and take your exam in the morning, but even that night, the ED is completely covered by PAs and attendings, and you are able to celebrate with your entire class. Typically, it involves a karaoke place in downtown Flushing where there is a lot of just essentially bad singing, but everybody is off for that as well, and everybody can attend. Then we take our SAEMs, we take our PGY2s to SAEM in May. Then at the end of May, we typically have our resident retreat, which is where we do our comprehensive residency review. Everybody is off for that. There's like a good I want to say 60-hour period from like Tuesday night to Thursday morning where all the residents are off and we go away. We have a overnight retreat. There is a wine trip. There is a wine trip, or last year we actually for the first time did a cruise around the city. This is kind of the seniors' last hurrah. We do it to celebrate them, and then ultimately that all culminates in graduation, and everybody gets off for graduation, including interns, second years. The ED is staffed again by attendings and PAs, and all the residents get to participate in graduation. They all get to participate in the retreat and in the post-ITE karaoke. So that's kind of the schedule for the year. Just some, I mentioned the retreats before. The retreats are just always fun. I think prior to 2017, before I became a PD, there was no retreat. When I became the PD, I said, we need this. This is just not even a question. So we send out all of the surveys that all the residents answer. They are long and comprehensive surveys, but they are designed to make the residency better. The residents fill them out. We go over all of the surveys, every question in detail, and it highlights everything from didactics, lectures, to other residency elements like research, pediatrics, simulation, ultrasound, et cetera, and then of course all the rotations, and we review the residency in its completeness. Very, very thorough review, but then that's followed by team building activities, escape the rooms, and they're always very, very creative. Our APDs do a great job of organizing the team building activities. We have gone to Mohonk Mountain House. We have gone to various beach resorts on the Jersey Shore, in Long Island. We have gone to wine country. We've been to Bear Mountain and the mountains upstate. The retreats are just an amazing time, a very, very well-needed break from the hustle and bustle of the ED. Graduation is always a great time. We know how hard you guys work for 3 years, so we make sure that we celebrate your goals and your accomplishments over the 3 years that you've been here. So we always have a great celebration to send off our seniors into the real world. So these are just some pictures of recent graduations. This was from last year. We call this the Care Bear class of 2023. And then this is our class of 2024 that will graduate this year. Graduation is always a great time. Again, I have thousands of these group photos where we're just all together in harmony, and I can't mention enough how much of a family we are here. So with that, I'm going to end. There's a lot of information here that I've talked about, and there's even more information, a plethora of information on on our website and our blog and our social media accounts. So this is our main website here, the NYPQ, the NYP website. It's a little bit more formal because it is through NYP. But a more personal way to look at us is actually visit our blog, quacktalk.org. It's a little bit more personal. We have our residents' hobbies there, alumni page, and then a lot more about our global health, our ortho program. It's also our academic blog. So all of our residents, when they are on their off-service months like ortho, Raymer, research, etc., they do blog posts. So we have a lot of academic information there as well, via blog posts, some videos, We've done a number of informational webinars and seminars over the years. They're all posted there. Our EM, our hospital tour, our departmental tour is posted there as well. So definitely check out our blog. It has come a long way since 2019 when we first started it, and it's really probably the best way to get to know us. Of course, there's social media, our Instagram, this one at NYPQ-EM or _EM. Check us out there. We're posting all the time, not only conference, but social events, wellness events. We also have a Twitter account. Now Twitter is known as X, but follow us at the same handle there. Our simulation department is constantly posting on Instagram. So check out our sim Instagram. That's at sim influence. And as the time goes on, I'm probably using Twitter less and less, but feel free to follow me as well on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it at NYCEM Doc. And so with that, I would like to just end by saying our slogan, amazing things are happening here. And every day we go to work and we do the things that we need to do to take care of our patients, all while being a family. So stay amazing and be well. Thank you.